Well, and what happened next?
Further on, we are already in the Lugansk region.
You weren't in combat then, were you?
Well, our unit started to participate in battles. That's, the battalions were sent to carry out combat missions. And we provided them with ammunition.
The wounded and the dead began,
Yes.
and there were losses of equipment and weapons.
Yes,
So your job has begun.
yes.
You haven't worked before this.
No,
Well, Henry,
why?
out 5 packs of cartridges and the wrench is not that hard.
Well, there wasn't such a strong attack there.
And then it all just took off.
Yes.
Endless loss of guns, pistols, right?
Yes.
Why don't your officers get pistols?
We had it in our regiment.
This is extremely rare. Yeah, this is a very rare occurrence.
And by the way, this pistol saved some people from injury.
Well, I understand that. Don't you give your platoon commanders pistols?
Even our warrant
well,
officers
it
walk
showed
around
that
with
the
pistols.
1428th regiment is unique, because you yourself can talk to other officers in captivity, and I think half of them will say that they didn't have a pistol.
Yeah, I heard it.
How can this be?
They were afraid that they would lose it most likely.
Don't you find it funny? No, I understand that this is true, but I had a captain at an interview who said that he did not have a gun. I asked how can it be true. He said that he never had a gun. He said they didn't give it to him. He went to the warehouse 50 times and was refused every time. They say they weren't in stock.
Perhaps it wasn't in stock.
Well, because we have the military and basically having a gun, no one wears epaulets, right?
We were.
Well, we don't wear it. We don't wear epaulets, but having a gun indicates it's an officer. At least that's how I define it. Well, you all have PM.
Yes. We had PMs, but they didn't give us the Yarygin pistol.
Okay, fine. Anyway. War, until when did the fighting last?
Well, I had it until August, until the end of August.
What happened? Heart problems?
Yes, stroke.
Stroke. Because of what? All people understand why they had a stroke.
Most likely because we lived in the basement.
How is this
five-
related?
Well, there was nothing to breathe there. There was no ventilation.
Were the generators always
Yes.
running? Yeah. A multi-story
Yes.
building, right? How many people were there? And in what locality was this?
So it was near Bakhmut. Now I'll tell you which settlement.
The Ukrainian armed forces had to destroy multi-story buildings because the Russians were constantly hiding in them, and it was difficult to smoke them out. Has your 5-story building been shelled?
Rarely.
Rarely. Well, how about something heavy, like HIMARS?
No.
Weak-willed. You had a heart attack, you were evacuated.
Yes.
Did you pass out or what?
No, I couldn't stand on my feet, I just fell.
You fell. They took you away. How long did they treat you?
Until April of this year.
So we went to the hospital?
No. I was in the hospital almost until October. And then I was on rehabilitation leave.
At home?
Yes. First in
that's-
sanatorium and then at home.
Was the salary paid?
Yes.
The full amount?
Yes.
230,000. A millionaire is in front of us. Where did you spend the money? Well, I hope you at least donated 10,000 to the Ukrainian armed forces,
For what?
so that we can kill you faster. It's just $100. This isn't even an FPV
Why are
drone.
you converting all this into dollars?
Well, why not? When was the last time you held dollars in your hands?
A long time ago, and the fact is that I don't need it.
Well, I see, but when?
In the 19th, probably.
And the euro?
I've never held a euro in my hands.
I probably don't have it with me.
I just don't travel abroad.
I have $20. What? Our stores accept dollars. Free country. 20. But I can also show you a new 100. Have you seen the new 100s?
I saw it was colored.
Colored. Then I won't show it. Hide it as a trash shirt. Just in case. But there are different cases. Well, so you had a good rest until April 2024, right?
Yes.
You were in chocolate actually, a salary of 230,000 and you were happily walking around St. Petersburg. What went wrong? Why weren't you
The
discharged
medical
from the army?
commission refused.
Did you receive your payment?
Which one?
Well, about the injury.
I had a non-insurance incident.
So you should have shot yourself in the leg. You would receive payment.
Self-mutilation.
Well, there are organs that you shouldn't shoot at. Also, who knows? Well, why didn't they write you off?
The medical commission classified my health as category B, limited suitability.
Uh-huh.
So my illness is not on the list of the illnesses for which one cannot serve.
Not included.
Yes.
So can you continue serving?
Well, yes, with certain restrictions.
Is SVO a definite elimination? Participate
With my
in the
illness,
SVO.
I think so.
And where did you go in April?
To the distribution center.
Have you already been dismissed from your previous
Yes.
position? Well, because you've already been in rehabilitation for 6 months.
Yeah, the position was already filled and I was assigned to another regiment.
Job title?
Platoon Commander, Storm V.
What a twist. With prisoners?
Yes.
What did you do wrong?
Nothing.
It doesn't fucking work
Well,
like that.
most likely I was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
No, dude. Major, it doesn't work like that.
Well, in reality, it was probably necessary to
figure it out.
simply plug the hole and that's it.
No. To plug the hole, you can take one of the Storm V and tell him today, by order of the Minister of Defense, Shoigu, you're already a junior
And they
lieutenant.
were also brought along with me on the same day.
Comrade Major, like you, should be put at least their company commander. That's the minimum.
The company commander was there, a smart guy.
His title?
Senior lieutenant.
It makes sense. Well, it's simply impossible to imagine that a senior lieutenant would command a major who already has 26, 27 years of service. Of this, 1.5 years were spent at war. Well, it's just impossible to believe. Major, let's figure out what he did wrong, because I already have a lot of experience communicating with prisoners. Maybe now we will find the truth about what he did
No,
wrong.
I didn't do anything.
It doesn't happen like that.
Well, how can this not happen?
It doesn't happen.
I was not involved in...
No, it doesn't happen. If you have never served in the army, and are more some kind of problematic or former prisoner, no questions. If you were mobilized from prison or were from a penal battalion, it would also be understandable. But a major from which one? Central Military District, right? No, Peter. What is it called?
Leningrad.
Leningrad Military District. Major, with 26 years of service, was deputy commander of the unit, then deputy commander of the regiment. He was put in charge of the platoon.
Yes. For myself, I explain this by the fact that due to a shortage of personnel, I was placed there temporarily.
What did the lieutenant tell you?
We talked for literally half an hour.
And then you had one fight and that was it?
There were only 2 combat missions. 2 days in a row.
After that, Captain?
Yes.
What did the lieutenant say? Was he a career military man?
Yes, he is.
And how did your conversation with him go?
Fine.
What did he tell you?
So I shouldn't interfere. He said I was too old.
Did he say so?
Well, something like that.
Old? It makes sense. You can't run or jump.
Not anymore.
What could you then?
Well, in the old days, in my youth.
No, I'm talking about April.
Then no, of course not.
The lieutenant didn't comment on anything.
No.
And who commanded the second platoon?
The captain was also assigned to the same assignment with me and senior lieutenant.
Third platoon?
Yes.
As I understand it, you arrived, roughly speaking, on Monday. On the same day, prisoners were brought in.
Yes, we were riding in the same cars.
Oh. Where you were in Naples, did it look like you were a major?
Yes.
How did the prisoners react to this?
Well, no way.
They didn't care?
Yes.
But they were probably surprised to learn that they would be led by a major.
Well, they spoke to each other in slang.
In slang?
Yes.
In short, if I understand correctly, you arrived. How long did it take you from the moment you arrived until the moment you were captured?
2 days.
And you saw the company commander, the lieutenant, once? Twice?
Well, somewhere around twice, yes.
The first time you talked to him, how many minutes did you spend
Well,
talking
we
to
only
him?
talked for 30 minutes.
And there were other commanders?
Yes.
And what did they say? Maybe they said, why were you there?
No.
And how was the captain?
Tanker. From the 59th Regiment.
It makes sense that he...
He is also a platoon commander.
Yes, he was probably a company commander in the regiment.
Platoon commander.
Well, a platoon, but at least he had tanks.
Yes.
Where the lieutenant from? A communications guy?
Lieutenant, no.
Is he a pilot?
No, he was a stormtrooper.
Ah, well, a submarine, I hope at least. You understand that I find this situation funny. Shoigu, Gerasimov, where in short is the platoon commander? Why are you torturing the major? What was your assignment?
Gradually take up positions.
How many soldiers did you have? Well, prisoners. Soldiers, excuse me.
I haven't had time to meet everyone yet.
Did they end up too quickly?
No.
Well, how many of them?
A platoon is usually 30 people.
Well, it was 30, right?
Yes.
As I understand it, the squad commander was not there.
Why, it was.
Was there? Who were the squad leaders?
This is,
You don't know?
Yes.
You were simply selected from the crowd. You are with me, yes, you are mine. Was that how it was? Well, you read the list, you go this way. What was the first task? What is the goal of the first day? How many people went and how many did not come?
I don't know how many came. But everyone went.
The whole platoon, 30 people?
Yes, yes.
Were there any armored vehicles?
No.
Well, did 30 people really just go in a
Well,
crowd?
of course not in a crowd.
Did you go in group of
Yes,
5?
7 people, 5 people.
Did the prisoners know how to fight?
Well, they already had some skills. They were taught there in the colony.
Uh-huh. Did you complete the task on the first day?
On the first day, yes.
How many dead and wounded?
There were probably 10 dead people.
Fine. I think there are no fewer wounded. Also about 10 people.
Yes,
Have you gained a foothold at some point?
yes.
How much distance did you walk? How much territory did you take for the price of 20 people?
10.
Okay, the wounded don't count. At the cost of 10.
Well, about 100 meters probably.
I read an article today. I was shocked, but I read it. They compared World War II with the current war. With the war in Ukraine. The methods of attack and the methods of using manpower were compared. So, do you know what was right in there? What are the losses of the Russian army now? Both manpower and equipment, all of that. Well, you know what I'm talking about. The equipment. There are now 4 times more losses than during that war.
No, well, now it's a completely different war.
Well, in short, do you understand what I'm talking
Yes.
about? There was a short article about it compared this. For example, in order to walk a kilometer during World War II, it took so many people. Nowadays, it takes 4 times more people to walk a kilometer. Is this true or not?
As for whether it's true or not, I don't know. I haven't read the article.
I agree. That's why you're a major. Well, what do you think? 100 meters, well, everyone run in school. Everyone understands the distance of 60 meters and 100 meters. 100 meters, worth of 10 people's lives.
Of course not.
Absolutely not. Well, even if there were 5 wounded there, they at least also wouldn't run any further, right?
Yes.
On the second day, did you then retreat?
Well, we are.
Did you pass through like stormtroopers?
Yes, the infantry entered there later.
The infantry entered and again you retreated?
Yes.
Did you have a conversation with the company commander in the evening?
No.
Was there the next day?
I wasn't there the next time either.
I saw you said you talked to him
The
twice.
next day we also went on a mission early in the morning. On a combat mission.
And where was the company commander?
The company commander in his dugout.
But he didn't run, didn't shout.
Well, he was a company commander at the checkpoint. He was in charge.
I understand. You say that you only spoke to him twice.
Well, yes, I only talked a couple of times.
How do you feel after the first one? Did you run on the first day too?
Well, I went, yes, with everyone.
Is everything exploding and shooting there?
Yes.
Then moved away. What are you doing with the survivors in the evening? Did you talk?
They were in different dugout.
Were you in the officers?
Yes.
What did you talk about between yourselves?
Nothing, we went straight to bed. We really didn't sleep at all for 3 nights.
Like you ran at 3 a.m. and came back at 3 a.m.?
Yes, and before that there were forced marches too. Not literally, well, moving from one point to
It's
another.
clear. The second day begins. What's happening?
The second day, the same. They put us on the equipment and drove away. They dropped us off about 10 kilometers away. We walked 10 kilometers through the forest.
How many people do you have left on the second day?
Well, about 20 people from the platoon. Maybe a little less.
Yes, well, that is in a sense there were only those who died on
Well,
the first
there
day.
are some lightly wounded
Slightly
there,
wounded,
yes.
so nothing to worry about.
Yes.
So you start moving, what next?
Well, then out of 3 points, we only occupied 2. And we decided to spend the night in the forest belt.
How many people are left after occupying 2 points?
That's what I don't know.
Well, according to your feelings and understanding, well, if there were 20,
About 15 people for sure.
are there any survivors
Yes.
left? And those who died, they just kept lying there and you just ran forward?
No, well, if he was wounded, then we provided assistance.
Well, what if they were
If
killed?
they were killed, we moved on.
Well, what happened next? Are you staying overnight?
So we spent night, we had a fun night.
Were the drones flying?
Yes. The drones kept us awake. There was a problem. Because our dugouts weren't there, and we borrowed the ones we had for the night. So, and there accordingly, all the dugouts were destroyed. And the night drones, they had thermal vision.
Well, it's clear that you were all visible.
Yes, and in short, we were disturbed all night.
How many dead people were there overnight? Wounded?
I don't know, I got wounded myself.
Where did it fly to?
In the dugout.
Fine, what happened next?
Well, then in the morning, I decided to go out for evacuation, and I went in the wrong direction.
Where was your injury?
2 legs and a belly.
Shrapnel like?
Yes, a shrapnel.
It seems to be normal now.
Well, the legs were only hit with soft tissue, but the stomach was hit in the ribs.
Fracture?
Well, most likely yes.
Where were yours all at this time?
All were hiding in the dugouts.
Was
Yeah,
everyone
they
hiding?
were hiding.
And you don't know how many of them there were?
Dugouts or...
Well, how many of your people were in the dugouts?
I don't know that. Well, everyone there had squad leaders.
Did you tell anyone that you're evacuating?
Yes. To the squad leader.
How could you go to the wrong way? Didn't you have a map?
No.
Tablet phone, you run to the points.
I didn't walk around with my phone. The squad leader of the senior group was with me.
Did he have a phone?
Yes.
Why didn't you take your phone?
Well, I have some correspondent there. The one from the old regiment.
You went in the wrong direction, so what?
Reached the Ukrainian trenches. And there I was taken captive.
You're walking alone and someone starts shouting something at you?
Yes.
Why have you been shot at?
I don't know.
Were you carrying a gun?
No, it was trapped in the dugout.
Our guys were probably shocked when they found out
Yes,
you
I
were a
myself
major.
was in shock when I saw that I had come to the wrong place.
Who took you prisoner?
Third.
Third assault?
Yes.
Who are they? A. With the letter A.
This is not Azov.
Not Azov?
No.
But
It
who?
seems to me that Azov was not there.
And what do they tell you?
They say, "Whoa, Major, we caught something."
Did you have an epaulette?
Yes.
For what? Why do you need epaulets in
I
a war?
have fake shoulder straps. The star is almost invisible there.
I got it, but why do you need the epaulets? Show that he is not an ordinary man. But here no one wears epaulets. Nobody at all. Did the captain also have captain's epaulets?
Yes.
And the lieutenant?
Same.
And the company commander?
Same.
For what?
According to the Constitution.
You are fools. Why don't you march in formation like in the First World War? For what? Well, you do understand that. This is terrible. Why didn't they wear epaulets in a World War II?
Well, because shoulder straps were only invented in 1943.
Yes. Why didn't they wear it?
They wore
No,
it.
they didn't wear it where there was a war. There are snipers.
Well, sniper, yes, an argument.
Well, sort of. What do you think? Is there a sniper
Well,
sitting
no, a
there?
sniper can't approach such close distance firstly. He won't see the star on his epaulets.
Yeah, they continue to work. Well, only the optics have changed. Optics now and optic then, it's basically... Now, look, there's an iPhone with a lens like this X5. If the sniper there has a scope like this, the zoom there is normal. You're probably really the first major in short who... In general, you're the first officer who said that he wore epaulets.
We all wore stars.
You're the first to say it. I'll keep checking, maybe I forgot. Everyone want the opposite.
Well, I understand that, yes, it's better to be without it.
As if. So,
Can I have a smoke?
let's try. Yeah, go ahead. The message hasn't even been delivered there. There may or may not be a video cut, but here even the message is not delivered. Most likely this is not the right phone number. If anyone recognizes him, please write to me or Nadia his phone number so he can contact someone.
Wife's number.
What?
Wife's.
Wife's. She will watch the interview. I'll 100% give it to her. This is definitely true. We've smoked here. Well, I don't think there will be any effect. Write to Nadia so he can get in touch because there is a high probability that he doesn't even know that you're being held captive. Does anyone know you're being held captive?
Unlikely.
Did the Certus out allow you to call?
No.
Why?
They didn't offer.
Did he ask?
No.
The problem with you Russians is that you're silent. Well, really, I don't understand them. 50% of the prisoners called from the guys who took them captive and say that they are alive. Yes, in short and summary, I tried to find the phone number through various bots and sources. I couldn't do it. He had a stroke and he doesn't remember the number. We tried different options. Commentators know that all this happened. So, write down your phone number and when Nadia tells me, he will contact his people and at least the process will begin. And you told your people that you were evacuating. Did they realize that you went the wrong way? Or them too?
Most likely no, they didn't understand.
So they really didn't, and your drones weren't there to see where you were going.
Yes.